Okay. Hi, I'm Shindigs from the Collegiate Starleague, and I'm here with the COO of Evil Geniuses, Scott SirScoots Smith. And I'm just going to ask him a couple questions actually about the upcoming year in esports in 2012, mainly of growing kind of the next generation of pro gamers. So we obviously have a lot of players in colleges and amateur brackets who want to make it as a big pro gamer, or perhaps they want to make it a career. First of all, what's kind of like your general advice for them to keep playing?
I mean, obviously, keep playing. It's hard to get discovered. I think in our little world, you do have some teams that are starting academies. Obviously, you have the collegiate system. You've got a lot of people that are throwing cups and different events for lower skill levels. And they're kind of based on if you're bronze or silver, etc. Like Megumi does a lot of that kind of stuff, the bear cups, etc. And I think that's how it's two things. It's getting better, but it's also like getting seen and getting noticed. And the more you compete, whether it's a little weekend cup or a Playhem Open or whatever, that helps both those things. So my advice would be just play the game and not only ladder it. I guess the biggest piece of advice I would give you is the big teams don't care what your ladder rank is. Like I do get a lot of emails. I got a friend, or hey, I'm this, I'm Grandmaster. I took a game off of this guy or that guy, and like the ladder system is the ladder system, but the top teams don't necessarily use that to do any sort of recruiting, and it's not like I go yell at my guys if they're not all Grandmaster. I mean, it is what it is. It's the ladder system of Blizzard. So it's not bad to have a good ladder rank, but it's certainly not one of the things that the top teams look at first. It's how you do at events, how you compete when it really counts.
All right, that's really interesting input there. You need like a lot of player competitive experience aside from just like the numbers on the ladder, right?
Absolutely, and again, it's a ladder system. It's a ranking, logistic that Blizzard has come up with, but it doesn't necessarily translate to how you do inside the ballroom at all.
All right, cool. So I think a big topic of conversation actually as we close out 2011 is player incentives in 2012. Like, what's going to make someone, in college or as an amateur pro player be like, I'm going to put everything aside and practice consistently? I mean, do you feel like the player incentives are there now, or do you feel like it's a lot more, players have to kind of drive themselves a lot more than they have to at the moment?
I mean, I definitely think it's hard to get picked up by a top team, and again, I would relate it to real sports. I mean, a lot of people play basketball. How many people are going to play basketball in the NBA? And not necessarily to say that StarCraft 2 is the NBA, but it's that same kind of thing. It's a limited party at the top, I guess. But as we have more events, we have more teams that are supporting more players. There's more places to go play. There's room for more players, right? Again, it's not going to be easy. It's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of dedication, which again, if you're going to school, you have a job, it's sometimes very counterproductive to the rest of your life, because it's not the kind of game you can play a couple hours a week and elevate your status or your skill set. So it is a commitment, but again, just like I would say to any kid who was really good in his driveway shooting basketball hoops with his buddies, like that's a long road from there to a college scholarship to the pros, right? But if you've got the right talent, you've got the right mental headspace, it's possible. Like, keep the dream alive, if that kind of thing. But don't give up your studies. Don't quit your day job, so to speak, unless you're already well along that path.
Yeah. So I mean, we have players like QX who go back to school, and he wants to finish his degree. And some people, kind of like Idra, he didn't go to college at all. He went to Korea to compete in Brood War. I mean, what is kind of like your personal opinion or your personal stance on that? Do you think more pro gamers could, quote unquote, should finish their degrees?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's up to each guy and each player, and what his life goals are way beyond StarCraft. I would think I would certainly say if you're in school and you're well on your way towards a degree, get that degree, because this game's not going to go anywhere. We've got more expansion packs coming. I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, this particular game. And get that education. I think no matter what hobby, whatever passion you have, if you've got a backup plan, maybe you don't want to be a lawyer, but you're well on your way to a degree in that, and get it. You might never need it, but it's there for you, and if the opportunity arises that you don't, need to be an accountant, then great. But if you've got that to back it up, and I fully support Kevin's idea of like, let me get through his school, and he's going to a very hard college too. It's not like he's in an easy little program. Get the degree, keep playing as much as you can so you don't lose that skill set, but by all means, get the degree. Stay in school, kids. And if if school's not in the cards for you, like Greg made a conscious decision years ago, much like you've got pros that decide coming out of high school they're going to skip college, right? He made that choice. It's working out for him. Yeah. I would hate for people to take that as an example, like, oh well, Greg did it, so I can do it. Like every guy's a little different. It worked for him. QXC's decided that no, I'm going to finish this out, and then maybe I'll come back, and he'll come back. So yeah, and it also depends on your family pressure. I mean, if your mom and dad are forcing stuff, or really, like, not that I would say do whatever your parents tell you to do, but like your parents are generally pretty smart individuals, and if they're helping you get through college, let them help you get that degree, and then then decide what you want to do.
Yeah. So I mean, in colleges, a lot of people they see StarCraft 2, they see esports, and they see particularly Evil Geniuses, and they're like, I want to do that. I want to do that as a career. And obviously, it's not there's no degree in esports yet. I know a couple people who are playing the Collegiate Starleague. They do writing for EG and stuff. What do you look for in those individuals when you try to recruit them into an esports organization? So what advice do you have to give to people who are looking to get picked up by an organization, not really to play, but just to contribute?
Same kind of thing. Like, get your education. A Cinderella story for us is our main biz dev guy, Colin, who does all our viral marketing campaigns. He did the Slayers campaign. He did the Huck campaign. That is what he just graduated with a degree in, like that. So he's found the perfect thing, right? He was going to school for business and marketing, got the degree in it, and loves gaming and loves esports. So he literally was able to turn that into a passion. He's volunteered for lots of organizations over the years, did stuff with ESEA and all the leagues years ago. We found him a couple years ago. And so he's kind of like literally putting his degree to work in esports. That opportunity is out there, and there's not a whole lot of teams like us that have the wherewithal to hire people yet. It's a lot of volunteering. So the first thing I would say would be, if you've got a passion for something, because again, the hardest thing to do in our world, just like in sports, is to be the player. Basketball teams have boatloads of staff doing all sorts of other things. The NBA has boatloads of staff. So find your niche. If you love to write, if you're pursuing journalism, there's plenty of websites that could use your help. There's plenty of team sites and league sites that could use your help. I would say business management marketing degrees are going to be very valuable in what we all do, because a lot of what we do, we are a media marketing team company kind of in a way. A lot of what we do with our players and our sponsors is marketing. It is, no different than Tony Hawk and Shaun White, So while Shaun White's job is to snowboard, he's got a whole lot of people around him that are in the marketing business of Shaun White, So those talents are definitely going to be needed in the future, for sure.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. So I guess finally to wrap it up, any shout-outs, and shout-outs to your alma mater, if you have one?
Yeah, my alma mater is UNLV. I actually went to school for hotel administration, which I did for a lot of years, hotel logistics and event logistics, but I unfortunately was able to move into kind of doing this more full-time. My shout-outs would be obviously to all the players and fans of Evil Geniuses, all our sponsors. Check us out at myeg.net. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. I also run OneMoreGame.tv with DJ Wheat, kind of a media company covering all this stuff. So check out OneMoreGame.tv. I do a podcast with him called Live on 3, doing one here tonight, live from the event. So it's a weekly podcast. We try to bring a little bit of no fluff to all that we do. And talking about the scene in different events. So check that out if you've never seen it. And yeah, just keep on playing, keep on supporting whoever you do like, whether it's a team, an organization, support them, help their sponsors out, help them out, and that's it.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
No problem, thank you. Pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely, no, definitely. Thank you. You had